If your nonprofit keeps getting rejected at the letter of intent or LOI stage, this might be hard to hear. But when you get the LOI wrong, you never even make it to the real application. You waste weeks writing, your board gets discouraged, and eventually you start believing that grants just don't work for small nonprofits like yours. And that belief is expensive. The truth is, a single document decides whether you move forward or get quietly screened out. And most LOIs are decided in the first 30 seconds of reading. And I know this because I'm not just a fundraising coach. I also sit on the other side as a trust advisor and a donor advised fund founder. And I've reviewed more LOIs than I can count. And I can tell you this with certainty. Funders are not reading LOIs the way nonprofits think they are. So in this video, I'm going to show you what an LOI is actually for, what funders are really screening for, and how to structure a one-pager that gets you invited to apply without sounding desperate, vague, or over-explaining. Let's start with a mindset shift. An LOI is not meant to explain everything you do. It is not a mini grant. It's a screening tool. Funders are asking one simple question. Do we want to invite this organization to apply? That's it. They are not evaluating your full program model. They are not dissecting your outcomes line by line. They are deciding if you feel aligned for them, credible, and clear enough to move forward. And that leads to the first thing you should always lead with. Start with the problem, not your organization. Too many LOIs open with who you are, when you were founded, and a list of programs. That feels safe, but it actually buries the lead. Funders want to immediately understand what issue that exists that you solve and who is affected. One or two short sentences, human language, real stakes. And before you explain what you do, make them care why it matters. Now, quick warning here, because this is where a lot of nonprofits swing too far the other way. An LOI is not a donor appeal. I see organizations open up with heavy emotion, heartbreaking stories, and urgency language that belongs in a year-end campaign. That can backfire in grants. Funders are looking for clarity and fit, not emotional pressure. Once you frame the problem, you move into what I call the credibility bridge. And this is where you briefly explain how you address the issue and why your organization is positioned to do that work. This is not a program menu, it's a summary. So, mission, target population, approach. One short paragraph, no jargon, no acronyms, no history lesson. If it doesn't help a funder quickly understand what you actually do, it doesn't belong in an LOI. Now let's talk about the part everyone stresses over. How much detail do you give when it's only one page? Here's the rule. Depth gets you rejected. Clarity gets you invited. You are not trying to prove everything here. You are trying to make them curious enough to ask more. That means high-level outcomes, not activity lists, impact language, not operational detail. And this next part surprises a lot of nonprofits. In most LOIs, you don't need to ask for a specific dollar amount unless the funder explicitly requires it. Many funders use the LOI to decide alignment first and discuss amounts later. When you force a number too early, especially without context, you limit flexibility and sometimes disqualify yourself unnecessarily. If they ask for a range, give it. If they don't, focus on purpose and alignment. Now, before you even write a word of your LOI, here's some homework that you cannot skip. The most common reason LOIs get rejected isn't bad writing, it's a lack of alignment. Alignment simply means your project clearly fits the funder's mission, values, and current priorities. You can have an incredible program, but if you're pitching a local arts initiative to a foundation focused on global health, you're wasting everyone's time. Strong LOIs are customized. They mirror the funder's language. They reflect what the funder already cares about. This looks different depending on who you're talking to. Federal funders want precision and compliance. Foundations want mission and impact. Corporate funders want alignment, shared values, and community benefit. The better the fit, the higher your odds of moving forward. So let me give you a real life example. I worked with a small nonprofit that kept submitting detailed, beautifully written LOIs and getting nowhere. We stripped it down to one page, reframed the opening around the community gap instead of their program, clarified their outcomes, and removed half the operational detail. Their next LOI was invited to a full application within 3 weeks. Nothing about their mission changed, only the framing did. So, if grants are part of your funding plan and you're tired of guessing why you're not moving forward, that's the kind of work we do together. I give you a clear plan, real feedback, and someone beside you so you're not rewriting LOIs at midnight, bracing for rejection and wondering if you're missing something very obvious. So, in the next video, I'm going to show you why funders aren't just reviewing your application, they're looking you up as well, and how your personal brand can quietly help or hurt your chances before you ever hit submit. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Drop a comment with a like, which is the best way to support our channel. And I'll see you next week.